When I do a video about DeFi liquidity pools, one of the questions that always comes up is what about stablecoins? Because people see stablecoins as a more stable and safer way to generate yield. So in this video, I'm going to kind of go through what yield is available and how you can kind of try this yourself if you're looking at using stablecoins in whatever form to generate some yield. The ones people are used to is obviously the USDC and USDT, but you've got DAI, which is a stable coin, USDS, you've got the Euro coin, the Australian US dollar coin. There's actually quite a lot more, which I'm going to go into. And I did put 30%, I think I put 30% on the thumbnail. You can get anything from the standard like 5%, probably up more than 30%, to be honest with you. And it does vary quite wildly. And a lot of it in liquidity pools is just testing. Everything is about testing. Now, I've shown many times the liquidity pools that I'm running, and I just put, I think about $8 in this one here, which is a USDC USDT pool on QuickSwap, earning 68% APR. Yes, 68% APR for two stable coins. Because obviously, if you look at, we talk about widths, it's basically 1% width. If you didn't know, USDC and USDT do fluctuate slightly with each other. So with a 1% kind of width, you're kind of gaining that slight fluctuation that the two may have. And there's many different outlets you can look for the stablecoin pairs and what stablecoins you can use. So obviously I'm going to point towards DeFi Llama, and this lists the most comprehensive ones that are used in DeFi, what chains they're on, and you can look at what protocols. So there's even more than I just discussed then. You've got even the World Liberty Financial one. You've got Athena USDE, BlackRock USD, PayPal USDC, USD, sorry, Circle USYC, Global Dollar, USDG, Ondo US Dollar, Ripple US Dollar, Falcon US Dollar. The list just goes on and on and on. So there's quite a lot that are available and quite a lot that operate. And the kind of best place that I always say to go first really is VFAT. VFAT is the aggregator as such of liquidity pool yields. Now, historically, you would say that if you were looking for a yield back on your stablecoin, you would say something, obviously I'm going to say Bitpanda, earn 7% on USDC in the Euro coin. But if you're watching this video, you're probably looking for something a bit more lucrative. And, that's fine. Everyone's got a different risk reward ratio. We know that you can get like I said, the 5 to 7% range on exchanges. Back to VFAT, you can see I've been searching through here. So, for example, if we're looking at a USDC DAI pool, DAI is a stable coin which is pegged to the US dollar as well. We've got a width slightly lower, but we're looking at around 42% APY on here. And all you need to do is kind of just take some time to go through each one. USDC, USDT, go through the list that is on DeFi Llama and type them in, look at what chains are available. And the best thing you can do is just test them out. In my personal opinion, and obviously everyone is different as to what they want to do, I wouldn't kind of run stablecoin pools as the main kind of pool that you're running. Maybe as an additional one where you're looking at getting some yield and you want to maybe reduce the price risk, because everyone worries about, will it go out of range? With stable coins, like you're kind of reducing that risk by a lot, as opposed to if you've got USDC or USDT with a asset such as maybe ETH or whatever, or if you've got two pairs like I'm using, like a ETH Aave pool, for example. There's also here an example of a Eurocoin USDC pool, 46% width. For all of these, if you're looking at something that's not exactly asset to asset, because obviously, the euro is classed as a stable coin, but it's not the exact same as the US dollar. All you need to do is go on to a chart on like TradingView and have a look. In these widths that I've looked at, which is giving an average of, for example, 25% APR, a 5% width. For these ranges, 113 to 119, this would pretty much be in range for months. Apart from a slight fluctuation here, I don't know what the hell happened in the markets there, but it pretty much would have been in range for the majority of this year, you know? So if you're pairing up two pairs that you're not sure of, so obviously USDT and USDC are the main ones. If you're not sure of what they are, just bring up a chart on TradingView to check out what it actually is and how it can kind of look with each other. Again, with DeFi, there's other options. You've got Spark, which is where DAI is centered. You've got Aave as well. You've got something called a GHO token, which you can stake for around 5% directly in DeFi on here, rather than trusting an exchange. Not everyone wants to put the crypto on an exchange. And another resource that you can use, which is quite good, is D.Fi. I put some stablecoin info on here, and it's coming up with an APR for a DAI and USDC pool on Uniswap for 19%, and another one for 17% on here. So you just need to do a bit of shopping around and testing the pools by putting, like $10 in, or maybe a bit more, just to see what the ROI back is from all of these. But there is certainly the opportunity on all of these pools to earn more than the generic, say, 5 to 10% that you will get on an exchange or just directly staking it. The downsides with doing it the traditional way like that is, one, if you're using an exchange, not your keys, not your coins, obviously. And you've also maybe got lockup periods that you will have, as well as a lower kind of ROI. Because if you're locking up stable coins, there's no price movement. And if you're locking up for, say, 4%, is that any different than just putting it in a UK bank, for example, and a normal savings account and getting that 4 to 5% back, rather than getting something that is a bit more lucrative, like I've shown throughout, quite a few examples of the yields here. So the main thing I would look at is three things. One, look at VFAT. That's where you're going to find the majority of the yields. Two, use DeFi Llama to see what available assets are available. And three, use something like TradingView just to look at the ranges if you're unsure of how particular assets pair up. Because if it's not a straight dollar to dollar, then there may be a slight fluctuation, even though it's classed as a stable coin, such as which I've shown with the euro. There's also a Great British Pound stable coin that you can use in liquidity pools as well. So if you're looking at any that are slightly off from each other, then they may be offering high yield. Put it into TradingView, try and find what the chart's looking at, put in the ranges that you're looking at that generates, the APR you're looking at, test it out. If it looks good, then, run with it. But again, for me personally, I wouldn't run a stablecoin pool as the only or the main kind of liquidity pool that I'd be running. I'd use it as an additional one that I would potentially be looking at. Hope that helps. If you've got any questions or whatever, pop it in the comments. I have also reopened again the free DeFi playbook. If you want to access it, all you need to do is click a link in the description. I'll put it in the comments as well. Earn yield while the market isn't moving. You can get free access to this. Just click the link in description. That's it for me today. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe. See you all very soon.